Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my channel. So my name is Piers. I invest in service accommodation business. I've been helping loads of clients through my sourcing and my consulting through service accommodation, but also have an online program. So if you're looking to start your service accommodation journey, or if you're looking to grow your service accommodation business, I'm going to leave a link down below. So please go there and check much more detailed information about the program. Well, recently I've been investing a lot of time understanding about Airbnb business, not only because I run service accommodation business successfully, but I want to know much more detail about the history, what's happening in the market. And I found a video which was done by, you probably know his name, Robert Kiyosaki. He's got you know, the famous book Rich Dad Poor Dad, and he's done a whole kind of like a blog kind of stuff, whole written about Airbnb business. And this video is kind of inspired because I normally cover in my channel about all the service accommodation detail, but not a lot of about what an Airbnb business is as an overview. Well, if you're a service accommodation owner, you will still learn loads from this video, because obviously what I've gone through myself, I found some of the figures that's in the video that I'm going to share with you quite fascinating about, you know, Airbnb business in general. So please keep watching till, you know, the end. Make sure you give this channel a like, because I'm always trying to give kind of new content, kind of valuable content to people like yourself who is about to start service accommodation business, or who actually already run service accommodation business and wants to scale and grow their business. Well, today I'm just going to cover something quite simple. What is an Airbnb business? Now, it can be a vast topic, but there's three things that I kind of promote it in our UK market that is quite crucial, and that will allow you to kind of give you an understanding if you're already a service accommodation owner, or if you're starting service accommodation business as well. So what is Airbnb business? Now, as this is done all over the world, we as in the UK market, what I personally think is that there are three things that brings out from an Airbnb business. Now, the number one, we all know it is a property investing strategy. Either you can own and rent it as a service accommodation, or you can rent as a service accommodation as well, so which is rent-to-rent service accommodation. So you've got an option to either own to turn you onto an Airbnb business, or you've got an option to rent a property and then turn it again into an Airbnb business. So that's probably kind of an overview and an understanding for yourself, especially if you're starting. That gives you kind of the idea about, you know, what in detail is kind of Airbnb business. Now, the second thing is, I believe, and I've been sharing this all over social media from day one, it is a hospitality business. Now, one of the biggest challenges I've seen in social media, or, you know, through my contacts, through all the clients I've spoken to over the years, is not a lot of people realize that it's a hospitality business when they're actually starting an Airbnb business. Now, you know, a perfect example I can give you is I've worked with several investors throughout for the branding and marketing of their kind of the business of service accommodation, and one of the biggest thing I come across with, you know, when we have a discovery call, is they do not have an understanding about what service accommodation business branding is, which means obviously they've now completely missed the opportunity of a business. Now, yes, they've got a great understanding about this strategy, and hence why they're investing on it. So quite crucial that somebody understands when they're starting an Airbnb business, to, you know, to create those passive income. Hospitality business is something that they need to understand a little bit more before they start the journey. Now, the third thing is, I think, my personal favorite anyway, but it is a marketer's business. Now, the reason why I say that is, even Robert Kiyosaki on his channel, he's actually covered this, that, you know, Airbnb is only a platform that gives you an opportunity to either you know, market your property, either, you know, if you own those property or rent those property. But at the end of the day, you need to know how to present it, how to get the best out from those platforms and the services they're providing. Now, I have seen a lot of time in my journey of service accommodation is when you first start in, people, all they need to know, or they understand from Airbnb platform, is they just put their pictures taken by mobile phones, standard setup, and then they expect high-end bookings to come through, or even direct bookings to come through, or even long-term bookings to come through. So that's why it is a marketer's business. What that means is you need to know how to present yourself online and your properties online so that you will get booked, your apartment's going to get booked, and obviously have a successful business of Airbnb. We go through this as an Airbnb business, but it doesn't matter what country you're actually running your Airbnb business. Now, it could be US, could be Spain. This is something that I believe that every person who's actually going to start their Airbnb business should consider. Well, an Airbnb business is generally a start for somebody who's trying to achieve a kind of a side income, really, a passive side income. Not 100% passive. That's something, again, I'd like to cover in a whole different video. I've kind of mentioned on my online program anyway, but I wanted to cover the value of time and what it generally involves running an Airbnb business. Now, remember one thing, again, it's a whole business in total that you want to kind of look at in detail, but some of the things I find quite crucial when you're starting service accommodation business the first thing I wanted to do is to have a great power team ready. Now, with any business, even though if it's an Airbnb business and you're only letting out your room, or you're renting out your whole apartment, it either needs to have a cleaner, it either needs to have a housekeeping team, it either needs to have a channel manager who's going to work with you to present your Airbnb on all the platforms, or even have your system in places. So it really is to make sure you have a great power team in place so that your value and your exchanging of time is very less, and you're still going to work, or you have your standard work and you're investing it as a side income before you actually understand the business of Airbnb. And key for any successful business is going to be communication. And now your communication is including to your power teams, your customers, your clients for check-in, check-outs. So again, as an Airbnb business, again, if you're new to this business, you need to understand that communication to guests is probably the most important part of the business, because obviously they expect you to give them the right information, the right detailed information to come and stay in one of your accommodation, or even in your shared accommodation or a private room that you're putting as a Airbnb. And third thing is my favorite, again, which I've been doing loads of videos about, is pricing and optimization of your listings, right? And that's pretty much to make sure that you are on top of your pricings, to earn that revenue or the profit that you'd like, and also not only stay on the same listing, because one of the things a lot of Airbnb owners make mistakes is when they put their properties go live, they let it as it is. They do not go and kind of check it on what's working for them, the title, the description, the photos, the pricing, the calendars. So what I'd advise is that's something you as an Airbnb owner needs to understand, that the pricing and the optimization of your listing is crucial in the business. So you must be thinking, this is exciting. You kind of understand the part of investing in the business. You kind of understand the value of time. But today I want to share something because I've been investing a lot of time understanding the Airbnb business, the whole of Airbnb and how it works. One of the things I've understood is, doing my research there, when I was seeing some of the figures there is as Airbnb's live in different parts of the country now, or not only in the country, but in US, there's about 650,000 listings live currently. So US market's got 650 Airbnb listings live, and they do not count hotels. They're actually units live as service accommodation and Airbnb in Airbnb platforms. So our UK has got 175 units live at the moment. In 2019, I think that those figures are 2019 end, but you can see how there's a big market requirement, and there is a reason why Airbnb is working all over the world, and it's only evolving and it's only growing. Well, that raises us another question now, is really, you know, what makes Airbnb work, like especially, you know, just in England, just in UK and US, we've got, you know, just over, I think combined together, that's 800,000 in listings, 800,000 plus in listings. So you know, I wanted to make sure that there's kind of 3 things that really makes your Airbnb work for you. And the first thing is your location. Now, it doesn't matter what part of the world you are. You know, if you're in Spain, like for example, Bilbao had, I think, 404% year-on-year growth compared to 2019, heading into 2020, which means obviously they're attracting a lot more tourists and probably a lot more people who's using Airbnb. So one of the reasons why obviously Bilbao is attracting a lot of people using Airbnb is because it's a tourist destination, and that is because of their location. So one of the reasons Airbnb is going to work. The second one is going to be your setup and kind of the presentation of the apartment or the accommodation you have, which means what different are you offering to the clients as an Airbnb. Now, you know, if you look at the listings, so if you've got an opportunity in certain type of area in the world that you're looking to invest in, just make sure you go and look at the current supply and see what different can you do to be the best in the area of the investment and actually make your Airbnb work. Now, the third thing is going to be your marketing, right? And if you've got sharp marketing in place, great photos, great title in Airbnb, detailed descriptions, a bit of company detail, great profile, great reviews, yes, that will bring you a lot more business in long term, which means, believe me when I say this, your first 3 months in Airbnb is so crucial, especially in your listing. Now in UK we use other platforms as well, booking.com and stuff, but just in Airbnb in general would be so important that you have your marketing bang on 2 point in the first 3 months to collect those right reviews, to work with Airbnb in general, because the more review you get, the better service you get. Airbnb is going to like you and obviously give you an opportunity to do more business. Well, you know, a lot of top performers in the world have been talking about Airbnb business, and you know, if you do further research into the business of Airbnb, there's a lot more, you know, high-end leaders in the world actually talking, like Grant Cardone, Robert Kiyosaki, Ty Lopez. A lot of people have been talking about Airbnb business in general. Now, one of the things I was very influenced, again, because I follow RichDadPoorDad, Robert Kiyosaki, quite a lot. He was talking about, you know, you've got to look at Airbnb business, and in a certain way, as you probably know if you've read his second book, you've got your Cashflow Quadrant, which is E, S, B, and I. And it's really, now you need to understand, as an Airbnb owner, and if you really want to run it in a kind of different or successful way, how do you start looking at opportunities in being in as a, you know, business owner or investor, and not to be an employee and self-employed person, which is basically you're trading a lot of time and pretty much your time running your Airbnb business. So one of the biggest thing I'd like to ask you, and I've been working on recently, is how much time do you actually exchange with your Airbnb business, and what's driving you to invest a lot of time in your Airbnb business? Now, would that be you going and searching for new units, or is it taking a lot of time in your operational, right? So leaving this video, I wanted to make sure, you know, I thought this would give you a great idea of, you know, if you're looking to start a service accommodation business or an Airbnb business, where do you want to fit yourself in, and create a plan and a business plan according to what it's going to fit for you. Now, it could be a few years into being self-employed in the business, then moving into big bet, or you might have a great investor in place and you've got great knowledge about running service accommodation business. You might be able to just go into the B, or you might have a chunk of money you'd like to invest in a big project of service accommodation. You might just be able to just go into an investor point of view. Well, all that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I've been posting video every day at the moment, and I appreciate a lot of people's support, comments. Please give this channel a subscribe and a like to this video, and I will be sharing more and more content about Airbnb business and service accommodation business.